In a world where justice should be blind, one cop's actions sparked outrage and ignited a legal firestorm. This is the story of how a single racist incident led to a courtroom showdown that would change everything. It was 2019, and social media is ablaze with shocking posts. Not from trolls or bots, but from the very people sworn to protect and serve. The air is thick with tension, and you can almost feel the collective gasp of a city on edge. When a website called the Plainview Project exposed hundreds of offensive social media posts made by Philadelphia police officers, it wasn't just a PR nightmare. It was a ticking time bomb. Imagine scrolling through your feed and seeing not memes or vacation photos, but hateful comments from those meant to keep you safe. The disbelief is palpable, the anger rising like a tide. The fallout was swift and severe. 15 officers were fired, their careers ended in the blink of an eye. Dozens more faced discipline, their reputations tarnished. It was a purge unlike anything the department had seen in recent memory. But here's where it gets interesting. 20 of those officers decided to fight back. They weren't going down without a battle, and what a battle it would be. They claimed their posts were personal, protected by free speech. But the city? They weren't buying it. This clash would lead to a federal courtroom where the very definition of a police officer's duty would be put on trial. The stakes? Nothing less than the future of policing in America. So what happens when the thin blue line meets the harsh light of public scrutiny? Stick around, because this story of racism, social media, and justice is about to take some wild turns. And trust us, you won't believe how it ends. Let's rewind to 2019. The Plainview Project drops a bombshell, a database full of Facebook posts from police officers across several cities. But Philly, it was ground zero. The city of brotherly love was about to face a reckoning that would shake it to its core. We're not talking about a few bad apples here. Hundreds of Philly cops were implicated. These weren't just off-color jokes or political rants. We're talking racist comments, violent threats, and posts that made people question if these officers could really protect and serve everyone equally. Imagine the fear, the betrayal felt by communities who suddenly saw the true faces of those they were supposed to trust. The city had to act fast. 15 officers were shown the door, their badges and guns stripped away. Dozens more faced discipline. It was the biggest mass disciplinary action in the department's recent history. The shockwaves rippled through the force, leaving no one untouched. But here's where it gets complicated. 20 of these officers decided they weren't going down without a fight. They sued the city, claiming their Facebook posts were personal, made off-duty, and had nothing to do with their work. The big question: where does a cop's duty end and their private life begin? In the age of social media, can you ever really be off-duty? These weren't just abstract legal questions, they were issues that would define the very nature of modern policing. Welcome to the arena where this battle would play out, the federal courthouse in Philadelphia. On one side, we have the city, arguing that these posts undermined public trust. On the other, the officers, fighting for what they saw as their constitutional rights. The tension in the air was thick enough to cut with a knife. The city's argument was straightforward. These posts weren't just offensive, they were dangerous. How could the public trust officers who expressed such biased views? But the officers' lawyers had a different take. They painted a picture of dedicated public servants being punished for private thoughts. They argued that punishing officers for off-duty speech was a slippery slope. Where do we draw the line? Today it's racist posts, but tomorrow? Could it be any opinion the department disagrees with? The courtroom buzzed with the weight of these questions. As the trial unfolded, it became clear this wasn't just about a few Facebook posts. It was about the very nature of policing in the 21st century. It was about trust, accountability, and the power of words in a digital age. While the courtroom drama played out, the effects were already being felt on the streets. Trust between the police and communities of color, already fragile, was stretched to the breaking point. The city held its breath, wondering if this breach could ever be repaired. Surveys showed public confidence in the police plummeting. Recruitment became harder. And those officers still on the job? They faced increased scrutiny and hostility. Every interaction was tinged with suspicion, every traffic stop a potential flashpoint. But it wasn't all negative. This controversy sparked crucial conversations about bias in policing, the role of social media in public service, and the limits of free speech for those in positions of power. In community centers and coffee shops across the city, people grappled with these complex issues. Across the country, police departments started revamping their social media policies. Some even began including social media screening in their hiring processes. The ripple effects of this case were being felt far beyond Philadelphia's city limits. After months of testimony and legal arguments, it all came down to this. The judge's decision would set a precedent for similar cases across the country. The weight of history hung heavy in the courtroom. The tension in the courtroom was palpable as the judge prepared to deliver the verdict. Both sides held their breath, knowing that whatever the outcome, it would change the landscape of policing and free speech forever. You could hear a pin drop as the judge cleared her throat. And the verdict was. In a stunning decision, the judge ruled in favor of the city. The court found that the officers' Facebook posts were not protected speech under the First Amendment when weighed against the department's need to maintain public trust and ensure unbiased policing. The judge's words echoed through the courtroom. To be a police officer is to take on a public trust. That trust cannot be sustained when an officer's statements erode the public's faith in impartial law enforcement. The impact of these words was immediate and profound. The ruling sent shockwaves through the law enforcement community. Some hailed it as a victory for accountability, while others saw it as a dangerous precedent limiting free speech. The debate raged on, spilling out of the courtroom and onto the streets. But the story doesn't end here. The officers vowed to appeal, potentially taking this case all the way to the Supreme Court. This isn't just about a few Facebook posts anymore. It's about defining the balance between an officer's individual rights and their duty to the public. The stage is set for an even bigger showdown. In the wake of this ruling, police departments nationwide are re-evaluating their policies. Training programs on social media use and implicit bias are becoming the norm. And slowly but surely, trust is being rebuilt, one interaction at a time. It's a long road, but it's a necessary journey. So, what do you think? Where should we draw the line between an officer's private life and public duty? How can we ensure both free speech and unbiased policing? These aren't easy questions, but they're ones we must grapple with as a society. We want to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How would you have ruled in this case? What changes do you think police departments should make? Your voice matters in this ongoing conversation. This case may be over, but the conversation is just beginning. Hit that subscribe button to stay updated on more stories that challenge our understanding of justice and civil rights. And remember, in a world where every post can have consequences, think before you share. This is more than just a story about a racist cop sued for his actions. It's about the power of accountability, the importance of trust, and the ongoing struggle to create a justice system that truly serves everyone. It's about the challenges we face in balancing individual rights with collective responsibility. As we move forward, let's not forget the lessons learned from this case. Let's continue to question, to engage, and to strive for a fairer world. Because at the end of the day, justice isn't just about laws and courtrooms. It's about the society we choose to create together. Until next time, keep questioning, keep engaging, and keep striving for a fairer world. The path to justice is long and winding, but it's a journey worth taking. Together, we can build a future where the badge stands for trust, equality, and justice for all. Remember, every post, every word, every action has the power to shape our world. Use that power wisely. Because in the end, we're all responsible for the kind of society we create. Let's make it one we can be proud of. Please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more enlightening stories.